This video will describe some of the more general ways of adding GIS data to ArcMap. Now, for example purposes, let's assume that we were going to be doing a population study of the world that required GIS data of the following types. Cities, countries, rivers, some demographic information about the world's population, as well as physiographic data. Now, the first way of adding GIS data is to click on the Add Data button. And you'll see within the look-in, in the drop-down here, that folder connections will be available. Now, if you're just getting started with ArcMap, you probably don't have much of a selection here. And there is a good chance that as you start to work with ArcMap and then you leave and come back for another session, when you click on this drop-down here, you're going to see your folder connections are going to be there. And that's just great. However, though, if you are in a work environment where, say, for instance, you're roaming around from computer to computer, and the profile is set up in a certain way to that, well, it may not follow you. And so, irregardless, if you don't see your folder connection here, the way to handle that is to click on this icon here, Connect a Folder. And for this example, we have to create a connection to C drive because the majority of the data is located there. So we click on that and navigate over to C. And now all the files within C are visible. And navigating over to the world file where most of the data is located. Now, welcome to GIS data. And you're going to see that for ESRI products, they have these really nice looking icons to help describe the kind of data that you have here. Some of the basics here, for instance, cities, you have a symbol for points. For the rivers, you have a symbol for line features. And for country, you have the symbol for polygons. But also just some others here that you're going to become more and more familiar with time. Here is a symbol for a geodatabase, a very unique way of storing data. And also here you have some tabular data, population data that's in database file format. And again, with experience, you're just going to get more and more used to this stuff. Now, cities is one of the layers that we need. However, if you hold down the control button on the left-hand side, now right now you see just cities is here in the name, and without holding down any buttons on your keyboard, just clicking around, you'll see that it'll put in just one at a time. But if you hold down the control button, then you can add in several at once. But for exercise purposes, we're going to load up just one right now. And one more thing, please, if you're going to be adding data and you navigate to where the data is, you say, I know it's there, and it's not there in the view. Make sure that when it comes to the type, that it seems like you've identified it properly. As you start working with more and more GIS data and adding, say, more unique kinds of data, you're going to have different options there. So just make sure that looks okay. And we click Add. Welcome to the world. Here you see all the cities that were identified, at least within this layer. And because you're smart people, I'm sure that you're already starting to create a silhouette in your mind around the major continents as well as the islands. Now, the second major way of adding GIS data is through the catalog. And this icon that looks like a file cabinet is catalog. And if you haven't noticed already, if you just simply rest the cursor over the different parts of the ArcMap environment, you get a title and a short description of what it is. So we click on Catalog, and Catalog is an option to view data in a file tree format, but also Catalog has a lot of operability embedded within it, which will be discussed later on. Now, for folder connections, C has already been established, and we navigate once again to where the data is. Now you see the same data you saw in add data when we got to the world folder, but now again file tree format. Same kind of icons though. We needed countries in this study, and there is a layer here called country. Now to bring data over from catalog, left click, hold the cursor button down, sorry, the mouse button, and there you go. And the same can be done when it comes to rivers. There you go. Now, you'll see that as you do that, over here in the table of contents, cities, rivers, country, they are being depicted here in respective of their shapes. For instance, by that I mean countries are polygons or areas, rivers, linear features, and cities are points. Now, over in the table of contents, you'll see that right now, when it comes to options, it's in list by source. And in list by source, the nice thing about this is that when you want to figure out where your data is located, let me drag this out just a little bit, it will show you the pathway. And trust me, that helps when you start working with more and more data. But now, there's something else that we needed for this project, and that was population data demographics. And so here is that data, and left click, it's dragged over. Okay, just like the other data, it's there, right? Okay, here's population data. Looks like we're doing pretty good. But now, in the table of contents, over to the far left, you'll see there's an option here called List by Drawing Order. Aha, look at that. Now you don't see that database file table anymore. The reason being is that cities, rivers, and country, right now they're true GIS data layers. They meet the criteria. And if I click on List by Source and go back, you'll see here's the population data. This data can be converted into GIS data. It can be integrated with GIS data, but right now it's sort of there in limbo, waiting for you to do something with it to kind of take it to the next step. And I will go ahead and click, I'll leave it right there, List by Source. And there's something else that we needed, and that was the physiographic layer of the world, and we don't have it connected to the folder where it's located. So just like in add data, here's folder connections. We don't have it, you see right here amongst all the different connections. It's not there. This icon that you saw also when you clicked on add data, this is how to connect a folder. Well, you can do it again. Connect a folder, and I'm going to navigate to where it's located. And here we go. And this icon right here is for raster data, and I'm going to drag it over, and there that is. And now I'm going to close down catalog for now so we get a better view. And you don't see the physiographic data laying over the other GIS data, and that's because of its location here within the table of contents, which will be described in the next video.